So now that we've learned all of these things about hypothermia, we can see that the best way to save babies is by preventing hypothermia in the first place. To do this, the best thing is to use the warm chain. There are 10 links in the warm chain. Number 1 is a warm delivery room, at least 25 degrees, plus a warmer to put the baby in. Number 2 is immediate drying after birth. This should be done with an absorbent towel, and then that towel should be discarded and the baby should be wrapped in a warm, dry blanket and a hat put on his head. Number 3 is skin-to-skin contact with the mother. The mother's body is the ideal temperature for the baby. But if the baby is sick, he should be put in a warmer. Number 4 is breastfeeding in the first hour after birth. This helps the baby to have calories to burn to produce heat. This helps to prevent hypoglycemia as well. Number 5 in the warm chain is postpone bathing and weighing the baby. This should be postponed until 6 hours after the birth. By this time, the baby's temperature should be normal. Once it is normal, the baby may be bathed in warm water in a warm room, dried quickly, then dressed in warm clothes and a hat. Number 6 in the chain is appropriate clothing and bedding. Remember that babies need 1 or 2 more layers of clothing than adults would need in the same temperature. So be sure that the baby is warmly dressed with a hat and change any wet clothing quickly. Number 7 is the baby and mother should be together in the same bed so the mother's heat can warm the baby. If the room temperature is below 25 degrees or the baby is very small, the baby should be in kangaroo care, skin-to-skin contact with the mother's body. Number 8 is warm transportation. If the baby needs to be moved to another ward in the hospital or to another facility, be sure that he is in a warmer or in kangaroo care with the mother or a relative's body. Number 9 is warm resuscitation. At birth, babies quickly become cold because of being wet. When we are trying to resuscitate them because they are sick, sometimes we're not paying attention to how warm the baby is. Be sure that resuscitation is done in a warmer and with a blanket so that the baby does not become cold during this process. If he does become cold, it will add to the problems that he already has, such as asphyxia and hypoxia. And last, number 10, is awareness training. All doctors, nurses, birth attendants, and mothers need to be trained in the use of these 10 steps. A few other hints that we can use for keeping babies warm are for premature babies immediately after birth. They can be placed in a plastic bag or plastic wrap up to the neck. This will prevent evaporation and allow you to do the resuscitation without worrying about hypothermia as much. Then after the baby has become stable, remove the plastic wrap and dry and warm the baby. Also be sure to teach the parents not only these 10 steps of the warm chain, but these 3 items as well. Number 1, touch the baby's hands and feet. If they're cold, warm the baby. Number 2, they need to learn how to do kangaroo care, skin-to-skin contact with their baby. And number 3, they need to be sure to warm their baby and keep him warm because warm babies grow the best. So in review, remember, chronically being cold can keep a baby from gaining weight. He can't take in enough calories to keep himself warm and to grow. Hypothermia can easily cause death in small babies and premature babies, so keep them warm, monitor them frequently, at least every hour, to make sure that they are staying out of the danger zone. Also, always use a heat source at birth. or any time that the baby is separated from the warmth of the mother's body. Check any baby that may have been exposed to cold temperatures. And remember that this is not always cold to us. Anytime the room temperature is below 25 degrees, it is cold for a baby. Start by just touching the baby. If the hands and feet feel cold, check the temperature. Axillary. If any doubts, check it rectally. Remember, there may be no outward signs of hypothermia in a baby. If the temperature is below 36.5, start warming the baby quickly. If it gets down to 35, you need to start immediate treatment for hypothermia with warmth from an external heat source, with oxygen, and with calories for that baby so he can start producing heat. These things may be the first steps in saving that baby's life. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video today. I know that the things you've learned will help you to save many lives at your hospital. Please take the time after the video to answer a few questions on this section and to do some group activities with your team so that you can remember these things and work together as a team to save even more babies' lives.